All right, guys, we are going to be working on practice and homework 6.2, and we're going to be continuing on finding equivalent fractions for each of the given fractions. Remember that you just multiply the top and the bottom by any number that you choose. So number 1, they did 1/3. So as you can see, they did 1/3 times 2, so it became 2/6. And then they went back to their original fraction 1/3, and they chose 4, and it became 4/12. So let's go ahead and start on our blank piece of paper and get our name along with 6.2. So let's try number 2. The fraction they gave us was 2/3. So whatever you do on the top, you do on the bottom. So let's multiply the top and bottom both by 5. 2 times 5 gives you 10. 3 times 5 gives you 15. Going back to my original fraction, 2/3, just in case I made a mistake. And I'm going to choose another number to multiply the top and the bottom by. And let's just choose an easy one, times 2. 2 times 2 gives me 4. 3 times 2 gives me 6. So our two equivalent fractions would be 10/15 and 4/6. Of course, you guys can pick your own numbers to choose to make equivalent fractions. 3, we have 1/2. So we've learned 2 different ways to do 1/2. We can choose our top and the bottom, or we can choose a denominator and then choose half of the top. So if I choose a denominator that's even of 10, I know that 5 is half of my 10. I could choose a denominator of 8. And half of 8 is 4. Let's finish strong on these kind of problems. Number 4, our fraction is 4/5. So this one we have to do whatever we multiply on the top, we multiply on the bottom. We already chose to multiply by 5, but 10 is really easy to multiply by. So let's multiply by 10 on the top and 10 on the bottom. 4 times 10 is 40. 5 times 10 is 50. And then, of course, we always go back to our original fraction, 4/5. And we already chose up here 5, 2. And it really doesn't matter. I'm just trying to make you guys see that you guys can multiply by any number. We chose 10 already. So let's try 3. 4 times 3 gives us 12. 5 times 3 gives us 15. So our equivalent fractions to 4/5 could be 40 out of 50 or 12 out of 15. You can always choose to multiply by the same 2 numbers to get 2 different equivalent fractions. I'm just choosing to have fun and do it other ways. All right, this one we've got some comparing with the equal or not equal. So we have our 1/4 compared to our 3/12. So I like to think about, how do I go from 4 to 12? 4 times 3 gives me 12. So whatever I multiply on the bottom, I also need to multiply on the top. And so those are equal. Number 6. 4/5 compared to 5/10. So I go 5 times 2 gives me 10. Whatever I do on the bottom, I do on the top. And times 2 gives me 8. So 4/5 is not equal to 5/10. Let's do number 7. 3/8 compared to 2/6. So I think in my head, 6 times what will give me 8? Nothing's coming in my head, so I look at the numerator. 2 times what will give me 3? Again, nothing's coming, so we know that those are not equal. Moving on to 8. 3/4. Sorry, let's scoot it down. 3/4 compared to our 6/8. So we have to think, how do I go from 4 to 8? I multiply by 2. Whatever I do on the bottom, I do on the top. And they are equal. 3/4 is equal to my 6/8. 9. 5/6 compared to 10/12. So I have to think, 6 times what will give me my 12? 6 times 2. Whatever I do on the bottom, I do on the top. And those are equal. 10. 6/12 compared to 5/8. So I think in my head, 8 times what gives me 12? Nothing. 5 times what gives me 6? Nothing. So I know they are not equal. We have 11 and 12 left, and then some word problems. We've got it. 11. 2/5 compared to 4/10. So I think in my head, 5 times what gives me my 10? 5 times 2. Whatever I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So 2/5 is equal to my 4/10. Last comparison, 12. 2/4 compared to 3/12. I think in my head, 4 times 3 gives me 12. So 2 times 3 gives me 6, not 3. So they are not equal. Let's check out our 3-word problems. 13. Juan has a 12-ounce milkshaker. 4 ounces of the milkshake are vanilla and the rest are chocolate. What are 2 equivalent fractions that represents a milkshake that is vanilla? So we have our denominator of 12 and 4 ounces are vanilla. So they want 2 equivalent fractions to 4/12. So whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So let's choose times 2 because I know most of us aren't super strong with our 12s. 4 times 2 is 8. 12 times 2 is 24. We always start back with our original fraction of 4/12, and we can multiply it by 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36. So there are 2 equivalent fractions to 4/12. Again, you can always pick your own numbers to multiply the top and the bottom by. Number 14, Kareem lives 4/10 of a mile from the mall. Write 2 equivalent fractions that show how far she lives from the mall. So we were given 4/10, and they want 2 equivalent fractions to that. So we can multiply by, let's do tens. 4 times 10 is 40. And 10 times 10 is 100. Starting back with our original fraction, 4/10. And then we have to choose what else we could multiply by. I really like multiplying by 5s, so let's do 5s. 4 times 5 is 20. 10 times 5 is 50. So there are my two equivalent fractions, 2 4/10. Number 15. Explain how you can determine if 1/3 and 4/12 are equivalent. So let's first write them down. 15. 1/3 compared to my 4/12. Well, first we multiply 3 times 4 equals our 12. And then we do our 1 times 4 gives us our 4. So we just had to multiply the top and the bottom by 4. We multiplied, I'm using this time symbol, the top and bottom by 4. Beautiful job, you guys. When you are done with 6.2, please take a picture, send it to me so that you guys get your points. Then please log into Galileo and take your quiz. Thanks, guys.